The lesson.
Oh yeah.
You've done the battling stuff, and then at some point, obviously, you've decided that you wanted to focus on the music. And back then, battling was a way to get your name out.
Yeah.
So that when you go and do music, people will pick up your record or whatnot.
Yeah.
Now the first album that you had, I think, was that was the one with Despair. What is it?
No, well, that was like the first proper. No, the first thing I did was a sampler demo when I was 16. Sound of Change sampler.
Would that have like a blue and whitish?
Bluish white. I printed it myself.
I've still got
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like 100
like a
CD.
real skinny, slimline CD.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember
So
that.
that was my first music, and it had people like Admin, Inkswell on the beats. There was a freestyle track. That shows how much we were into it. Like, and Delta was on that. Amazingly like blessed that, and that was my first release. Then I did Rugged Uncut Project was like my first collection of songs.
Yeah.
That was like I was like 18. That was the first sort of album, CD album. Then it was the Vortex after that album with Despair.
Rugged Uncut, did you press that on to vinyl?
I did later. Yeah, first run was 500 CDs, back in 2008. And then I pressed it
Later on.
Yep.
And then so the Rugged Uncut was like your first official solo full-length release.
Yeah, on Butter Thief, the Social Change.
And then the one after that was the first one with Despair.
Yeah.
And that's the title track on there is Prolific.
That was this first single, yeah. That was the lead single.
That is dope, man.
Thank you.
That joint to me is, what year would that be?
2010, I think.
Dude, that to me is heavily underrated, man.
Thanks, dude.
That's like, I actually listened to that, when we were talking about doing the interview. I just was looking through some.
Went back.
That, man, the video is dope.
I think it was a big culmination of like, it was just the right thing, at the right time.
Man.
The song, the beat, the video, like with the team we had, it just like, that song did a lot of good things.
Yeah, I remember like
us.
Pretty much as soon as it dropped, I picked it straight away. I said to my friend, I remember saying, well, the only reason this isn't a classic is just because it's not old enough yet.
It's not old enough.
Yeah. I was just like, give this 10, 15 years. And I'm like, trust me, you'll be able to respin this shit.
Yeah.
And then I respun it, say, 3-4 days ago. And I was like, yeah, word.
Thanks, man. It's cool to hear because I don't often like go back like that,
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a while ago now.
it's a while ago, but yeah.
Was that the first video that you did? And so, I mean, nowadays, everyone, you drop videos with your songs pretty frequently. But back then, like, you still had videos, but it wasn't as common as it is now, was it?
No, it was like, YouTube was obviously a thing, but not like popping like it was. There was no Facebook video or Instagram really. And I think doing a video took a lot of plan, it still does, but at the time it was like, all right, we need to really plan this, do this. It wasn't like everyone had a camera ready to shoot, and I think it had more of an impact the people who had videos to us were more, had a label, or it was like coming out on Obese, or it was, they were the ones who did videos. So for independent artists to start doing videos, I think that was kind of that time period where it really, indie artists started doing it. And like we got like indie clip of the week on Rage and stuff like that. Like, so it was cool.
And then was that the only joint that had a video on that album?
No, we had Mission Statement had a video. This one where we're in the desert.
Ah, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And the Games Wired as well.
Yeah. So they were both off that same
off that
record.
Same album. And it was like the same crew of people working with us. A guy, Schnitz, and Nima helping with the vids. And it was just like this culmination of people with the visual. And in Adelaide, like I remember Nima and Schnitz met through like a school, and they both like Spike Lee and hip hop. And it was like,
Kind of
when
just
you're
naturally.
Yeah, and when you're in a smaller city like Adelaide, and you know, the people who are into the stuff that you're into, it's like, oh yeah, let's link up and like let's
make shit
let's
happen.
make shit happen, you know. So that was that.
And then the next album, that one was also with Despair.
Yeah.
What was the name of that one?
Self-evident.
And so how long between drinks of that record and the one
It was
before
2 years, I think.
And that had, I think the lead single of that was, I can't remember the name.
New Testament with Total Eclipse.
So was that the one where, I'm trying to think, was that the one where you guys are pressing up vinyl, but the theme is...
Nah, that was Low Pro.
But that's the same, that's off that same release?
That's off that same album.
Yeah.
So Low Pro was like the not safe for work vid that, and like got taken off YouTube and...
Yeah, because I heard something, because what the from memory, like what the whole thing was, it's like, it's basically you're cooking up vinyl.
Yeah.
But it's as if you're
premise.
cooking it up in like a, you know, a drug lab or something.
I think American Gangster had come out a couple years back, and
Yeah.
Despair had the idea. We were watching it. And he was like, "Man, we should flip this scene, but make records." I was like, "You're crazy," and then we just did it, and then, yeah, kind of like that naivety of like, yeah, this is. I didn't know, you know. I think now people are more conscious of like, all right, what's gonna be what's gonna shock and like,
Yeah.
and get clicks, but we were just like, that'll be cool, and then it got taken down, and we were like, oh shit.
And then so what? It got.
And then we put it on Vimeo, so it's on Vimeo if you want to watch.
So what? It got taken down off YouTube.
Yeah,
And what is that because of?
just the nudity and themes, and I don't know. Yeah, I think that was it.
And then you just popped it back up on Vimeo,
Yeah,
and
we
then
put
there's
it on
no
Vimeo,
issues.
so Vimeo, you can put anything on there, I think.
And then so were they the two joints? They were the only two joints that had videos
and
on there.
SABX, which was we filmed that in the States. With
Ah,
Dialect.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, yeah. So that one too.
Yeah, that's so. Would that have been your first trip to the States when you filmed that?
Yeah, so that was like my first holiday, or I guess working holiday. I always try and have like a goal when I go on a trip.
Yeah, I know.
I find it hard. I can't like go on.
Just go there and do nothing.
I can't go
yeah,
on the
I know.
beach and just like chill. And I'm like, all right, what are we hustling?
You got to achieve something
So
while
we
you're there.
were kind of going there music driven. Obviously, it's New York, making hip hop, Despair, and now boy Luke went. And yeah, that was like 2001. After we did the Vortex, we kind of went there with the goal of like doing some vids, doing some collabs if we could, some shows, and yeah.
Okay, and then was that so? Were they the two? They were the only two albums that you did with Despair.
Yeah, those were the two that we released, and yeah, we're still making music. We're just taking our
Taking your
long
time.
The lesson.
Oh, yeah.